Why did I pick the name Machismo? I've heard this a few times, and I think it's fair to elaborate on this. Some people seem to think that I've picked the name to be a misogynist, and others think that I've picked the name as a way to promote myself as some alpha male testosterone guru. And both are mistaken. I think it's very clear that I've never made any misogynistic content or any anti-women content, anything regarding that. So I mean, that's easily dismissed. The other I can kind of understand a little bit, but that's also incorrect. So the real reason I've picked this name is much simpler. What I also want to say is I do get a lot of, well, not a lot. Like maybe in the 5 years that I've had this name, I've gotten like 3 comments of people telling me that the name Machismo doesn't fit me because I'm clearly not a real man. And this tends to come from people who are on a carnivore diet, interestingly enough. Not surprising at all. Now, there's a lot that I can say about this. First of all, I would ask you, what do you qualify as a man? What is your idea of what a man is? You know, if we're going to ask that question, what is a man? Please tell me. And also, why are you so certain that you have the capabilities and you have the elements that make a man? Because for me, a man is a few things, but I wonder what it is for you. Because what I tend to see is that the people who say this, they are promoters of individuals such as Liver King. Is that a man? Is that a masculine individual? A guy who sells supplements and grunts a lot? You know, do you think that masculinity equates to how much you can grunt? Like, oh, I eat testicles. Oh, manly man. Is that your idea of manhood? Okay. So, please explain it to me. I'm very curious. I also want to say that I have never tried to be this individual who tries to explain to others what it means to be a man. That has one very particular reason, and that is that when I took this name, I was 23 years old. And really, at that point, you are still more of a boy than a man, in my opinion. And now that I'm a little bit older, I could say that I might have a few nuggets of wisdom for people who are really interested in what it means to be a man. But back then, I certainly it never even crossed my mind that I was going to be this testosterone man guru. I also want to say, on top of that, that back then, the people who were promoting ideas of masculinity were not promoting ideas that I would consider even respectable. Because for those individuals as well, the idea of manhood was to be a loud or stern, serious man who took his surroundings very seriously and always had to be a very specific, certain way. Which I think just isn't genuine to begin with. Because you're not teaching people, you're not teaching man to be man, you're not teaching boys to be man. You are essentially teaching guys to be a very specific way that might not at all fit who they truly are. Because we are all individuals and everyone's a little bit different, and what defines you as a man is something that is individual to everyone, in my opinion. Because you can excel in certain types of expression of manhood, and you can be really bad in others, and that's what makes us individuals. Everyone is different. The reason that I took up the name Machismo is very simple. Back then, the name would translate from the Dutch word haantjesgedrag, which is a name that I've used for a Dutch channel. If you would put in haantjesgedrag and you would translate it to English, the direct name you would get is the direct translation that you would get is Machismo, or Machismo, and that's the reason that I took that name. Haantjesgedrag itself is a word that you could consider is very close to machismo, but it doesn't have the exact same meaning. Haantjesgedrag is almost a comical way to refer to an exaggerated man. And machismo is considered, well, it has a few definitions, which is why some people attach the label of misogynist to me, even if I've never said anything about women to begin with. I don't think that I've ever made a single video about women. I could do that. I could talk about women if you really want me to. But I've never done that in all of my YouTube career. So clearly that has nothing to do with it. But one of the definitions of the word is an exaggerated man. And the Dutch word haantjesgedrag is also an exaggerated man, but it's usually much more in a comical way. And if you watch my content, you will quickly understand that that is kind of the role that I've picked up. I'm an exaggerated, comical man. That was the thing that I was going for. Now that I'm a little bit older, perhaps that my views have changed a little bit about certain things, but I'm still a guy who likes to make entertainment, if it comes to it. So there really isn't anything else to it. That is the whole story. It's not this, I've not picked up this label to be sexist, I've not picked up this label to be a manhood guru. I also want to say that the whole manosphere culture is something that I agree with partly, and I understand why it exists, but a lot of it is very cringy to me. And a lot of it is very stupid. A lot of it is, I don't connect with it. So I never had an interest in telling young men, young boys really, what it means to be a man. Again, now that I'm a little bit older, perhaps I do have a few nuggets of wisdom. And I have a much better idea of what it means for myself to be a man. But back in the day, I was not concerned with that at all. And I personally, back then, I thought everyone who was, they had something wrong with them. It was kind of laughable to me that man would put so much emphasis on being a man. Because to me, that is something that tends to naturally come, for the most part, throughout the years, if you just live a honest and good life. And you try to seek out adversity. And you try to develop yourself. And I think that as long as you do that, you have an edge over being a man over most men. Because most men don't ever, nowadays, ever come out of their comfort zone. Correct? I think that's correct, right? I don't think that manhood can be defined by your level of testosterone. I think that it might be a factor in how you feel in your day-to-day life, but a lot of guys, they now put so much emphasis on the idea of testosterone itself that they directly equate it to manhood itself, which is stupid for many reasons, which deserves its own video. I have never been concerned with the idea of manhood, and I truly feel that I do a better job at being a man than most of the guys who try to follow these manhood gurus. That's all there is to it, really. That's why I picked up the name. It has a very simple reason. The men who come tell me that I'm not a real man, again, you tell me what a man is. Because something tells me that you have a laughable, infantile idea of it. Because what I've seen is the men that will come tell me that I'm not a real man, they tend to follow individuals who do a carnivore diet, who do these testosterone boosting protocols. And I really think you're putting your eggs in the wrong basket there, if it comes to it. I really think you're not developing yourself in a way that truly teaches you to be a competent individual, which is what you should really be going for if you want to be a man. So, and also, if you're gonna base the idea that I'm not a real man on the fact that I make some entertainment videos, or that I think that a carnivore diet is for idiots and losers, and I still think that, then I'm sorry, you don't have the right priority set. You have a very poor idea of what it means to define a man. And well, that's all I have to say about it. Thanks for watching.